privileged to see because they were with Jesus. And that reminds me of my own life. Man, there's things that I have gotten to experience as a Christian that I would have never experienced without being a Christian, without being with Jesus. Listen, on my own, all I did was hang out on the street corner. That's all I did. I never left Wilmington. I never left the projects. We just hung out there. Everything we needed was in there. Everything. We had the taco lady, we had the icy lady, we had this lady and that lady and all these other things. We never needed to leave the project. Everything was there. Everything was there that we needed. Man, and all I ever knew was Wilmington. That's it. The only time I ever traveled out of Wilmington is at the state's expense on the Grey Goose, up and down California, visiting prison after prison after prison on the state's dime. Other than that, I never left the city. I never went nowhere. I never met anybody. I never did anything. All I knew was that little part of the world, Wilmington, one little city. Never left there. But man, when I became a Christian, when I started going to church and I started meeting people and I started getting to know pastors and I started getting to know preachers and I started going places with my church and going to conferences and meeting people and taking trips and traveling around America and going to different conferences and all these, man, I started meeting people I would have never met. Man, I started rubbing shoulders with people I would have never been able to rub shoulders with. Man, I came to Commerce, and man, I got to know all the members of the city council. I've been invited to open up the benediction there at their events they have for the city. Man, I personally know the mayors of this city. I've met some of the LA. Janice Hahn and all these other people, these big wigs here. Man, I was sitting in, not that I like them but man, these are people I would have never have met if I was not a Christian, if I was not a pastor. I wouldn't know who these people were. They wouldn't know who I am. I wouldn't even know who you are. I wouldn't be standing in. I'd probably be dead. I'd be in jail, in prison for the rest of my life if it wasn't for Jesus. And these simple fishermen, these crude, uneducated men, got to experience things because of Jesus that they would have never